Hello everyone, it's Alex here from RPGsite.net. I just wanted to show you guys this interesting little game that's available on Steam, a sort of one-man project, literally one developer and then I believe another person helped out with the music and stuff, which is RPG Tycoon, which isn't technically an RPG, but as the name suggests, it has sort of all the RPG themes, which I think would be of interest to fans of the genre. And essentially what this is it's a management game, a simulation management style game, you know, in the vein of a Rollercoaster Tycoon or a theme hospital or something like that. Except the difference is, you are managing a kingdom in a classic RPG setting. So instead of building, you know, to use Rollercoaster Tycoon as the example, instead of building rides and, you know, food places and stuff like that to attract visitors, you're building things like guild halls and inns and, you know, things like notice boards for quests and things like that to attract adventurers. And you're even hiring on your own adventurers that are like your resident people. You're building housing for them, and in that you do actually get a bit of traditional RPG stuff in that you do actually level those characters up. You send them out on quests. They from quests get experience and level up and get loot and that sort of stuff, and the loot can be equipped on them or can be used to unlock new things either for them or for the town in general. And it's quite a fun little game, I think. I'm not at the stage where I'm ready to review it. I've only played 3 hours of it, and to be honest with you, I'm not that sure how much more there is to see beyond what I've seen. I get that there's definitely more buildings to unlock and things like that, but I think the basic gameplay loop, I've pretty much seen it. And I enjoyed it, you know. It's one of those things, it's obviously a smaller experience, smaller in scale, smaller in scope, and just smaller in style. I mean, you need to consider that I think it's actually quite impressive, to be fair, that one person made this game and then also had a bit of help with the music. It's relatively new out. It came out in February. It's really rather cheap. I mean, in the UK it's £6.99, so £7 basically. Similar sort of price in the US, so I guess probably about $10. And it's a nice, fun little game. There's definitely issues. I mean, one of the issues is it's a strict isometric view from one angle. You can't change the camera angle, so that means you always get stuck with being unable to see things behind certain buildings. You can't actually rotate the camera around or even see it from 4 different perspectives, as in some older games like that. It's locked to one view. And just the user interface, I don't know how many games this chap has made before, and it's extremely impressive, all things considered. But also, maybe it's one of the earlier games and he just doesn't have that much experience with the user interface, because I just find it to be a little bit too fiddly, a little bit too finicky. That really hasn't dented my enjoyment for the 3 hours I've played. You know, I think it's a fun little diversion, and it's a bit silly, but you know, for me, I always loved those types of games. Theme Hospital in particular is one that stands out to me as a game I absolutely adore. And this sort of scratches that itch, but has a nice little RPG twist to it. You know, you've got different levels of quests. And I should mention, actually, the actual goal of the game is there will be multiple kingdoms, and you're scored based on various criteria, such as how good you are for adventure stuff, how good your shops are, how pretty you are. So that involves putting down stuff that doesn't make you money and costs you money, but, you know, makes your city look better. And you're competing against the other kingdoms, and the goal is to become the best kingdom in the land. And as well as sending out your heroes on quests and attracting adventurers that you don't control, in addition to that, you are courting, essentially, different settlements, trying to get them to ally with you and become part of your kingdom, which then offers you more influence, and that raises your score, and so on and so forth. And as I say, the goal is to become the best kingdom in the land. And there are various game lengths as well. It isn't a campaign, it's more like almost like a civilization game. You know, how at the start it will say, what speed do you want? What difficulty do you want? You know, here's a bunch of modifiers you can turn on or off. It's that. So, yeah, that's RPG Tycoon. It's out now on Steam. It does sort of, in some ways, it resembles, if any of you have played those Kairosoft mobile games, which are quite addictive, you know. I think the one that was a big breakout for a lot of people was Game Dev Story. It sort of has a similar feel to that in terms of the size and scope. It is a smaller game, but it's really cheap, you know, and I've had fun for the 3 hours, and I think for the amount it costs, you know, I've already had, you know, the money's worth out of it, and I think I'm going to continue to play it for a good while yet and see how much deeper it goes, and I'll probably at some point do a review on the site on rpgsite.net. So yeah, that's RPG Tycoon. Of course, stick with us here on RPG Site for all the latest RPG and RPG related stuff, be that indie games like this or big AAA stuff, you know, Mass Effect, Final Fantasy, whatever. That's here on this YouTube channel. Like and subscribe and all that jazz, and indeed on rpgsite.net. So yeah, until next time, see ya.